now I gotta ask you. Now you connected with Uptown and the legendary Andre Harrell. What was that situation like, and what was he like? You know.
Dre Dre was Dre was a visionary. He was a true visionary. He was an artist. He came up and believe it or not, though, he came up in the era where Def Jam and Hush Production, that whole conglomerate, that was a machine. You're talking from Run DMC, LL Cool J, Beastie Boys. They ran a roster and they would go out and Fresh Fest and Houdini and all these different collective minds putting together the art of hip hop to entertain the world. So he came up in that era. He was like he worked as a roadie, then like the executive, then like finally he said like I want to get my own thing because I learned the blueprint. Russell Simmons had the blueprint. So Andre knew the blueprint, but he wanted to do we call it ghetto fabulous. Before ghetto, Andre coined that word, ghetto fabulous, and it's all about being true to your roots, but you can be fabulous at the same time. And he got this huge deal with MCA Records, and we were literally the last group to be signed. We were working with this gentleman, I call him Boy Wonder, Nate Tinsley out of Wine Dance. Shout out to 11798. And this guy was like maybe 13, 14, but he had all this equipment in his house and he would do demos. So we were working on a demo, and somehow the studio that he was working in and doing things on the weekends, he met these gentlemen, these producers that just happened to be working with Andre. And they heard our demo. I think it was like Why Me or Dragon Breath. You got Dragon Breath. I don't know. It was one of those songs. And Dre said, I want to meet them. So we were like, all right. So we literally got a call, like let's say at 4:30. We had to be in Queens by 5 o'clock. And that's like a 45, 50-minute drive. But we made it. And I remember we was in the small studio to the point where we were doing our dance steps and rapping. And Andre was literally, I could smell his breath. That's how close we were. But we said, we're going to do what we're going to do because, and this is what I say, I hope I do these podcasts, I do these interviews because I hope that I can drop little nuggets and little pieces of jewels. We prepared every day so that when they asked us to do what we needed to do, we didn't have to practice. We knew it. We would go in the basement and practice. We didn't have shows, but we practiced like we had a show. Dance steps from the beginning to end, the cuts, the blinks, whatever the case may be. That's how we did. So when they said we want you to come up, we were ready. And he signed us on the spot. Last ones to be signed. It was a blessing. Uptown really allowed us to expand. My dream. I kind of said I wanted to do 3 things. I wanted to do another record. I wanted to be in a movie, and I wanted to go to Soul Train, the music awards at the time. And so I was able to make all that happen through Uptown.
That's phenomenal. That's inspiring, man. Most definitely. I'm just processing, all of the things you saying because, you actually got a chance to live it. But it started off as a dream, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, definitely.
that's
It always
dope.
starts as a dream. It always starts as a dream. You gotta have faith. You gotta have faith, man. Believe it or not, I remember I said I want to do 3 things. I want to do another record. Don't know how it was going to happen, but God found a way. I told him I wanted to do a movie. We'll talk about how the house party thing came up. And I remember we was Uptown, and we ended up going to Soul Train Music Awards when they were doing Secret Garden. That was when Albie Shore and them was doing with the incredible team, El DeBarge and just a bunch of hosts of Quincy Jones, the great one, and Barry White, and I remember sitting like in the second, third row, and I was like sitting back like, oh my God, I'm here.
Yeah, that's
So
a
yeah,
bad
dreams
record,
do.
man.
Yeah.
You had mentioned some of the roster on Uptown. I got to ask you about the late great Heavy D, man. What was it like working with him? I was
It
a
was
kid when
incredible.
all
Heavy
this
was
was
cool.
going on. Uh-huh.
It was crazy because even there was 5 guys, 5 groups, and we all didn't fight for a position, but everybody wanted to get that attention. Heavy D was obviously the first one to say like, okay, he's going to be the first one to put. They put his album out. They did his single. We did the single for video, Mr. Big Stuff, and then we did the Uptown compilation video maybe like a week later. but we all knew that heavy was the first one, but we all vied for positions. So I remember we were doing the Mr. Big Stuff scenario. Couldn't really shine there, but in the Uptowns kicking it, everybody had their own parts in the music. So we figured out like, okay, so how are we gonna be different? How everybody's gonna be rapping, blah blah blah, but we're gonna kind of change it up because that we gotta think outside the box, and that's when we came up with that, with the Rockfist and the Homeboy Posey kind of Jamaican kind of thing. Y'all want to see Groovy Chill, and then we went to we thought about like this chant kind of scenario. If anybody ever watched Animal House, you make me want to shout, and that's that kind of vibe that we think we was getting it. So y'all want to see we're going to chill. Let's all hands walk it down. Yeah, hey. And that was we wanted to be different. We danced around the table. We did all kind of stuff like see us, look at us, watch us, and it was great because it really stood out to people to this day. They're like, oh, that's right, y'all would have got because people don't really know we were rappers before we became actors. Rappers before actors, believe it or not. Rapping was how we got there.